You're right, guys. Welcome to Football and Fitness United. My name's James. We're here for the match reaction. Manchester City 6, Manchester United 3, a not so happy Derby day. I'm joined with Ross. How's it going, mate? You okay?
Hi, man. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm good, man. Well, I've been better. So, first thoughts, no leading questions. Just what do you think?
It was a god awful performance from start to finish. I think you could tell from the start of the game with that booking of Dallo and he was obviously going to be on the side with Grealish, who likes a dive here and then. That was obviously posing the danger, and so City obviously made sure that their attack was going down his side, and it just overloaded the wing. So yeah, it was just a real disappointing performance. It was very, very similar to the performances we've seen against Brighton and Brentford. And I thought we'd maybe turned a bit of a corner there. But, you have to obviously, couple that with the fact that it's Man City. You know what I mean? They're a brilliant team, and we accept that. But like we were talking about, James, I think we did give them a bit too much respect at times. And then that left us not being able to effectively counter attack like we've seen against Liverpool and Arsenal. So, yeah, terrible performance.
Yeah, so let's start at the very beginning, I guess. So team selection, I thought it was the right one. Obviously, maybe it wasn't. How did you see it?
I thought maybe the addition of Casemiro at the start could have been a good addition. I know a lot of people were talking about that online before the game, and there's obviously that bit of respect we give to Ten Hag that he doesn't want to change a winning team. And I know that it's been a while since our last game, but you can understand why he had that team selection. I just thought in a game against City, and especially with a team that City had that lacked Rodri, and that lacked their two starting centre backs, I thought brilliant. This might be something where we'd maybe be able to control the midfield a bit, and hit it maybe and play a different way, similar to what I think longer term Ten Hag wants to play, that type of style. And we didn't see it. And he went with the midfield that he's known and trusted, and they let him down today. It really is the midfield. And a lot of people, I think, are going to go to Martinez and Varane especially for some of the goals. But I think it is the midfield and the midfield's inability to catch the runners, and it just gave them acres of space anytime they went in front of goal.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. The only thing I would say is I'm not really going to go on individuals, to be honest. I thought from back to front, we were pretty much relatively poor across the board today. I thought the application was poor from the whole team. I thought we were very naive in the way we let them play. We gave them far too much space, far too much respect. And listen, they are top quality team. I think people tend to forget, we're at the start of this process, this whole Ten Hag rebuild thing. They're at the very end of their process. They basically executed their process perfectly, and they're right at the end of it, reaping their rewards. They're basically the finished article, to be honest. They've got a very good chance of competing and winning on all fronts this season. And we were up against a very, very good Manchester City team today. However, that doesn't excuse some of the performances. So particular negatives today. Where do you want to start?
I think again, I don't like to look at them. Perhaps the fullbacks, both of them. The early bookings for both of them really scared me, because obviously City were going to overload our wings, and then that is that risk of losing a man. And so I think the substitution of Luke Shaw at half time was a good one. But I just felt like he could have made a few more subs, and maybe his use of subs is something you want to talk about as well. But yeah, certainly I think Dallo had a pretty poor performance, and it actually quite shocked me, because I think he's been brilliant this season so far, even in games where I don't think the whole team has been particularly good. I think Dallo has been a shining light. So I was pretty disappointed in Dallo today, and I thought the defense as a whole just couldn't cope with Holland. They couldn't cope with it all. And and talking about the way that we cope with the goals and the defense cope with goals, and when the midfield were there to defend set pieces and things, I just thought it was really, really silly to put McTominay with Holland. I just thought there was a couple of tactical decisions today didn't work, and maybe that is something that Ten Hag needs to reassess himself. Maybe it's on the players, but there is, I think, the blame lies with the team as a whole. So yeah, talking about the fullbacks in particular, I thought neither of them had a great game today.
Which is strange, right? Because they've both been strengths this season when we've played well. And Malacia's come in and done very well. And we've seen a resurgent Dallo. He's come on leaps and bounds, to be honest, and is an outlet for us and a definite strength to our team. So that was strange to see. The whole McTominay decision clearly didn't work today. I would have actually, in hindsight, I wouldn't have minded seeing Scott and Casemiro in there to try and win the midfield battle. I know it would have meant dropping Bruno or Eriksen, but we really needed to get control of that midfield because it was a big problem. And then we'll come on to City's strong points. I guess there's only two places to start, right? They both got hat tricks. One of them got a hat trick and 2 assists. So talk to me about Haaland. I put a reel out yesterday with the Mission Impossible theme tune because I thought it was impossible to stop him. Could we have stopped him? Was it inevitable? Is he just that good?
I mean, it's clear that he's just that good. I mean, it's something like 8 goals in his last 3 games, and so he's just a brilliant player. And you have to couple that with he's just a brilliant player. No other team in the Premier League could effectively deal with Haaland, so you have to take that into account. I think the one positive from today is that I captained Haaland in my fantasy team, so that was I was happy enough with that. But yeah, silver linings. But no, in all seriousness, I think there is a degree in which I think we could have stopped Haaland a bit more. It's not the case where you would have prevented him from scoring at all, but I think it's really embarrassing for a derby to see 2 of City's attackers get hat-tricks against us, against this defence that we're calling, a much improved defence on last season, and it just doesn't look great, does it? So yeah, listen, I don't think there's much we could have done to stop him scoring at all, but I think there's a lot we could have done to stop both of them scoring as much as they did.
Yeah, I agree, to be fair. So let's move on to some slight positives, if there is any, for Manchester United. Martial came on, 2 goals. And how important is he going forward that he stays injury-free? Do you see him in Ten Hag's plans for the rest of the season?
He's had a great start. I think his pre-season was brilliant, and it was a real shock to a lot of fans. And then obviously the injury comes as no shock because he's been injury prone for as long as I've known him as a player. So he's just one of those players. If he can keep fit, I think he can be a really great addition to this Ten Hag side. There is the big toss-up between, does Rashford actually work as an out-and-out number 9? And there are some examples of games like Arsenal there where you think, okay, well, maybe he can work if he keeps going, and then just games like this just serve to discredit all that in a certain way. It's a constant toss-up. I think in the short term, if we can keep Martial fit and play him in that position, it's our best option going forward. There is obviously the whole Ronaldo debate as well, but I think Martial's had a good start. If he can keep fit, he'd be a brilliant addition to the team.
Yeah, so we look at the start of the season, obviously, Brighton, Brentford defeats, obviously really disappointing, bounced back, won the next 4. We've obviously had another major setback today. So how does Ten Hag bounce back from this? How does he rally the troops? We've got a really busy fixture period coming up. We've got some really tough games. I think Chelsea, Tottenham, Everton. We've got a couple of Europa League games as well. Newcastle, who are flying as well. Like, how does Ten Hag rally the troops? What does he need to do?
It's an interesting one. I think I like the way that he dealt with the Brentford loss and the exemplary leadership he showed through, joining in with them in the running that that they lacked from that Brentford game, and you saw that was an automatic response in the next game against Liverpool. And as I've said before, this long term, this counter-attacking style isn't the way that I feel anyway that Ten Hag wants to set up this United team. But in the short term, he's got to work with it. So I think that he just needs to do a lot of what he's doing against weaker opposition. I think there's only so much Ten Hag can do this season, I feel anyway, with the team that he's currently got. I think the amount of money spent on the players that he wants has been good. That's been reassuring, but I think he needs time to gel this team together. I think what hampers Ten Hag, I think, is that he's being compared now to 2 managers, and now while Klopp hasn't had much luck this season, he's been compared to 2 managers who have been given loads of time, money, and resources to fit and make their team into what they want in their image. And I think what's a constant fear as a United fan is that the board will grow impatient with that, and then we'll have to start over again. United fans, I think, subconsciously want this to work very quickly, and I think we all need to come to the realization it's just not going to happen. Results like Liverpool and Arsenal, while reassuring in the long term, don't necessarily mean I saw comments today about, of course it's the derby, but about where if we win today we're going to win the league and this sort of thing, and it's fun and positive to think about, but we're way behind where we need to be, and I think it's going to take us a while to get there. As for what Ten Hag does now, I think he just needs to stick with his game plan and kind of block out the outside world of it, because he clearly is a manager that knows what he's doing. He has a clear idea of what he wants to do, and we just want to see that realised. So I hope it happens.
Very sensible, Ross. I kind of wish everyone on social media had the same patience and the same opinion, but it doesn't really appear that way. Going to get off shortly. Just do you want to plug anything and like your Twitter handle, Instagram, anything like that?
Yeah, absolutely. Ross Wilders 5. If you just want to give me a follow over there, and just make sure to like and subscribe Football Fitness United. And yeah, thanks for having me on.
Love it. Cheers, Ross. I've been James. He's been Ross. This has been Football and Fitness United, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, guys.